Frumess talks about Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Let's all talk about Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
This is a mean movie. This was a mean movie, you guys. Here we go. Sorry. When Evil Lurks from 2023. This is directed by Demián Rugna. There's no point in praying. In a remote village, two brothers find a demon-infected man just about to give birth to evil itself. They decide to get rid of the man, but merely succeed in helping him to deliver the inferno. Well, that's kind of a spoiler, but whatever. You know, this played in theaters and I missed it. And it's one of, you know, the thing about horror films is sometimes they catch a buzz, man. And when a horror film catches a buzz, because the thing is, horror fans love something that's new and fresh, right? Like they're always looking for the next new, fresh horror film. It's just like, it's something that we live and breathe for. It's a currency that we trade. Have you seen da 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 da? Have you heard about da 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 da? It's part of the discovery of something new, and really that extends to all moviedom, but particularly with genre films and particularly with horror films. Have you seen the latest this? And it becomes a quest. I have to go and I have to search it out. And When Evil Lurks was that film for 2023. Where everybody was talking about it, and Shudder put it out on as like a exclusive on streaming because it only had a limited release in theaters. And this is what I had to say about it. The hype is real, and this is the last thing I should have been watching with everything that's happening in the world. Yeah, it's a really tough watch. It's a challenging watch. And here's the thing. I don't have a problem with a challenging, tough watch. Like, for instance, we were talking earlier this month, we were talking about The Tower, and I was talking about how brutally dark and disturbing and bleak The Tower is. But as challenging as the material was, there was real artistic substance in what was being conveyed. So you can have something like Baby Eating and still have something that is like, has like a deep artistic, you know, message of symbolism and theme weaved throughout it. What was the ultimate point of The Tower? That life is meaningless and that everything is nothing, or we are, you know, existing in nothing that will soon swallow us up. So is that like really a message that needs to be delivered to people? Is that a message of art that needs to be delivered? I don't know. You know, maybe it's more a message of artistic expression based on how one feels about the human condition. But in the case of When Evil Lurks, I mean, actually, you know, now as I'm thinking about it, I was just about to say that there's nothing of the sort. But that's not true. That's not exactly true. They really, so the world, there's a world with established rules, and it sort of like it feeds you these rules in a pretty sort of straightforward way. Like it lets you know that this is a world where demons, like there is a pandemic of demons that are sort of kept at bay. There are these people that know how to deal with these demons, and the demons basically infect people like a virus. And, you know, if you do evil things, then if you do evil to the evil, then you spread the evil further. If you do evil to it, you will spread it further. So there's like I said, there's like 7 or 8 rules, and they all get explained to us. But I feel like the movie doesn't really do a great job of following its own rules, kind of like It Follows. You know, It Follows sort of established rules, but then didn't really follow them that well. I'm not a big It Follows guy. They just announced the sequel to that, by the way, called They Follow. Whatever. Of course I'll go see it, but it's not some sacred cow to me. It's really not. When Evil Lurks, it just sort of it didn't quite work for me. That what makes it that you gotta see sort of film for the Halloween season is just, it's a mean movie, man. It does mean things to people. Spoilers, I don't care. I'm going to spoil this movie. So stop now if you haven't seen it yet. Spoilers: the little girl gets mauled to death by a dog. Yeah, it's gnarly. A mother eating her child's brains as she carries his body along the side of the road. I'm like, why am I watching this? Like, I'm like, so sad about the world right now and like what's happening in the world and all the just death. And I'm like sitting here watching this movie. It's like deeply affecting me, like just really weird. I don't know, man. Here's my problem. Here's my other problem with the movie. It ultimately, it establishes these rules, it establishes this world, but it really doesn't do anything more with the premise. It just sort of ends. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the movie ends before it can even really begin. Like there's this sort of loose sort of narrative about trying to stop the evil, and they kind of try and it doesn't really work, and the evil's released onto the world. I don't know, man. It didn't, I did not connect with it. The hype around the nasty aspects of it are indeed warranted, and I can appreciate why people want to watch it. It's well written, don't get me wrong. The writing is great. The exposition is great. The way that the story is communicated, the story mechanics are communicated, great. But like I said, I needed a little more. I needed a little more in it to really work for me. Listen, Wolf. I do think that they did the demons proper. I thought the demons were done properly. I just didn't. It just didn't. It just what I don't know. It could have been more effective than it was. How about that? There's some really great makeup effects in this movie. I mean, just tremendous. Like the initial like infected guy who's like infected with this demon entity that's going to ruin the world is just so disgusting looking. You can smell the visuals. You know what I mean? And that's when you've done your job right, when you can smell what you're seeing in a movie. So check it out. Check it out. When Evil Lurks. It's streaming on Shudder. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5, which I think was pretty fair considering my feelings about it.